Your affirmations are not failing because of the words you use. They are failing because of the sentence you think right after you say them. That small private sentence, the one that appears when nobody is watching, and the 3D still looks the same, is the one that gives you away. You say, "It is done." Then something inside whispers, "But where is it?" That whisper is not random. It is the old state signing its name under your new words. So catch it now. Do not wait until later. Ask yourself, what is the sentence that appears inside me right after I say it is done? Not the public sentence, not the spiritual sentence, the hidden one. That is your silent signature. And today we are going to expose it with 3 movements. Catch the sentence, name the state, replace the speaker, catch the sentence that gives you away. Name the old state it belongs to. Replace the speaker, not just the words, because Neville Goddard was not teaching you to decorate an old identity with better language. He was teaching you to occupy a state. And your inner speech reveals the state you are actually living from. You can say, "I am chosen," while your inner voice keeps rehearsing rejection. You can say, "I am secure," while checking the world for permission to feel safe. You can say, "I am living in the end," while your private conversation is still taking place at the beginning. That is the silent error. The mouth says one thing, the identity confesses another, and the 3D does not respond to your performance. It reflects the state you keep returning to. Most people think the error is inside the technique. But the real error happens in 3 ordinary places in your day. The first one drains you the most, and you call it just checking. The first place this silent error shows itself is checking. Picture it clearly. You open the phone like it is a judge. You look at the screen like it has the authority to tell you who you are. No message. And the old identity whispers, "See, nothing changed." You check the bank account, and before the number even loads, the old identity whispers, "Still not enough." You check the mirror, the silence, the views, the reaction, the tone, the delay. And every time you check from need, the hidden sentence is the same. "I am not sure yet." That is what gives you away. Checking is not always information. Sometimes checking is identity negotiation. You are asking the old world, "Can I remain in the new state now? Do I have permission yet? Has the 3D approved me?" But in the law of assumption, the 3D is not where you go to receive identity. The 3D is where old assumptions become visible. So here is the first command. When you feel the urge to check, stop and ask, "What am I hoping this proves about me?" If you hope it proves you are chosen, you were checking from the state of not chosen. If you hope it proves you are safe, you were checking from the state of danger. If you hope it proves the manifestation is working, you were checking from the state of doubt. Do not shame yourself. Catch the signature, then say, "This is the old state asking for proof." Again, this is the old state asking for proof. That one sentence breaks the spell, because now you are not the old state. You are seeing it, and what you can see, you do not have to be. The second place this silent error appears is explanation. This one sounds intelligent, so people trust it. You say, "It is done," then the mind starts building a case for why it is not done. It is because of the past. It is because I did it wrong. It works for other people, but not for me. I always get close, then lose it. Listen carefully. That is not logic. That is a confession of identity. Every explanation has a speaker. Delay has a speaker. Rejection has a speaker. Failure has a speaker. The old state does not only live in fear. It lives in the explanations you keep repeating until they feel like truth. This is why someone can study Neville for years and still live in the same pattern. They are not short on information. They are loyal to an inner explanation. Their mouth says, "I assume." Their silent signature says, "But here is why I cannot." That gives them away. So here is the second command. When your mind begins explaining why the old picture is still there, ask, who would need this explanation? The fulfilled self does not need a speech about why fulfillment is absent. The person who has it does not keep building a courtroom for old evidence. So when the explanation begins, say, "That explanation belongs to the identity I am leaving." Again, "That explanation belongs to the identity I am leaving." Then return to a cleaner sentence. "I am the one who has it now." Do not shout it. Do not perform it. Let it come from the person who no longer needs to defend the old story. The third place this silent error appears is emotional rehearsal. This is the most dangerous one, because it feels like preparation. Nothing has happened outside, but inside you are already living the whole disappointment. You see yourself ignored. You imagine tomorrow looking the same. You feel the old ending in the body before it has even arrived. Then you call it fear. But often fear is imagination used in reverse. You are still creating inwardly. You are just creating from the old state. If you rehearse absence, you are not living in the end. You are living in the evidence. If you rehearse failure, you are not protecting yourself. You are practicing the identity that expects failure. That gives you away. Here is the third command. When you catch yourself rehearsing the old outcome, ask, what ending am I practicing right now? If the answer is rejection, lack, delay, abandonment, or failure, stop, then say, I do not rehearse endings I no longer choose. I do not rehearse endings I no longer choose. Now choose one small scene that implies the fulfilled ending, not a full movie, not a fantasy you watch from far away. One simple inner fact, a calm breath after it is done, a message already answered, a bill already paid, a friend congratulating you, your own face relaxed because the fight is over. Enter that for a few seconds, not to force the 3D, to replace the speaker, because the old state does not leave just because you hate it. It leaves when you stop giving it your voice. Now listen closely. The part after but is often your real state. Do not rush past that. It is done. But what if nothing changes? I trust, but I need a sign first. I am chosen, but why did they not answer? I am abundant, but I am scared to look. That little but is the crack in the mask. It is where the old identity shows its face. And this is not bad news. It is useful. Because now you can stop blaming the technique when the old identity is the one using it. You can stop collecting new methods while keeping the same silent signature. You can stop saying the right words from the wrong room. So let us make this practical right now. Think about the desire you say is already done. Now notice the first private sentence that appears. Do not edit it. Do not make it spiritual. Do not clean it up for the camera. Is it calm? Or does it ask for proof? Does it say, of course? Or does it say, but when? Does it feel like identity? Or does it feel like performance? That raw sentence is the doorway. Maybe it says, I hope this works. Catch it. That is the self that still thinks the method has to rescue them. Maybe it says, they probably forgot me. Catch it. That is the old identity translating silence into rejection. Maybe it says, nothing changes for me. Catch it. That is not truth. That is the old state calling itself history. Now name it. This is the old state speaking. Again, this is the old state speaking. Now replace the speaker. Ask, what would the fulfilled version of me say without performing? Not what sounds impressive, not what sounds spiritual. What would be natural? Maybe it is. It is already handled. Maybe, I do not need proof to remain who I am. Maybe, the old picture is not my identity. Choose one and say it slowly. I do not need proof to remain who I am. Again, I do not need proof to remain who I am. Feel the difference. The goal is not louder words. The goal is a different speaker. That is living in the end. Living in the end is not repeating, it is done, while the private conversation still belongs to the person who does not have it. Living in the end is when your inner speech begins to sound natural from the fulfilled identity, not perfect natural. When delay appears, the old self says, see, it failed. The fulfilled self says, the old picture does not name me. When silence appears, the old self says, I am unwanted. The fulfilled self says, I do not use silence to abandon myself. When doubt appears, the old self says, check again. The fulfilled self says, I return to the assumption. That is the work, not more noise. Cleaner identity. If you want to go deeper into these old inner methods, I left a free masterclass below this video. But do not use it as another thing to collect while keeping the same inner conversation. Use it to change the speaker. Now return to the test. For the rest of today, watch the trail. What you say after it is done. Why you need to check. And who inside you still needs an explanation. This is not about policing every thought. That becomes another old state technique. This is about becoming honest enough to hear the state. Because once you hear it, you can leave it. The old state hides in silence. It hides in the private sentence. It hides in the little but after your affirmation. It hides in the checking you call normal. It hides in the imagined disappointment you call preparation. And all of it gives you away. But the moment you see it, the spell weakens. You are not the sentence. You are not the old voice. You are not the identity that learned to expect the same life. You are the one who chooses the state from which the next sentence is spoken. So do not just say, it is done. Become the one for whom it is done. Do not just repeat the words. Chant the speaker. Do not just silence the doubt. Stop giving doubt your identity. And if this exposed the sentence that has been giving you away, type, I changed the speaker in the comments. If you saw your own hidden sentence in this video, do not hide it from yourself again. Not for the algorithm, for the version of you that no longer needs permission from the old world. You keep saying, "It is done." Now let your inner speech stop betraying you. Catch it, name it, the speaker, and return to the state of the one who already has it.